Water is our world, and this is the moment in time that demands a stroke of progress, calls us to make waves, and inspires us all to write a new chapter. Today is that moment, calling us to unite 6 sports: swimming, water polo, diving, artistic swimming, open water, and high diving. Letting us celebrate first-time athletes and world champions alike, helping new generations find their skills and confidence. This is the moment for the next era of unity, competition, and collaboration. This is what we've been building since 1908. A world united by water, health, life, and sport. We are World Aquatics.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Time Out. I'm your host, Charles Fisher, and we are talking aquatics today. And joining me is the president of the Bahamas Aquatics Federation, Algernon Cargill. It was once the Bahamas Swim Federation, and due to things, they had to change the name to the Bahamas Aquatics Federation. Tell us about that first. Why the change?
Well, the name change was because aquatics encompasses all of our disciplines: swimming, open water swimming, water polo, diving, artistic swimming, and also high diving. So swimming itself encompasses only swimming. So we rebranded ourselves Bahamas Aquatics Federation because all of the activities we do are aquatics and not just swimming.
Some might say we don't have diving here in the Bahamas, we don't have some of those stuff, but it's still encompassed.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have diving yet, but we will have diving. Hopefully we will have more artistic swimming also, but the name change prepares us for the future.
And you're one of the longest serving presidents here in the Bahamas. How long have you been serving as president of the federation?
Well, that's a good question. I've been the president since 2003, and that's 20 years. So I'm happy to serve. I serve at the pleasure of the federation, and they have re-elected me, I guess, 5 or 6 times. And I'm happy to serve because I believe we do a good job. Our corporate governance is strong, our parent support is strong, and our swim record is strong. So because of these reasons, I guess they keep re-electing me as the president of Bahamas Aquatics.
And talk about how did this federation get started here in the Bahamas?
Well, that's a good question. The federation started probably around the 1950s, and Andy Knowles just wrote a book about it actually, how we got started. But we started from the 1950s. We've been around a long time. We had our 50th national championships last year also. So we've been around for more than 50 years. And we've been around because there's a lot of Bahamians who don't know how to swim, believe it or not. Our statistics indicate that less than 10% of Bahamians can swim 100 meters. And one of the things we try to do is offer swimming from a developmental stage to the competitive stage. And we definitely want to get more Bahamians in the water, be able to swim. On the water safety, it needs to save their lives, and it's something that needs to happen. And we continue to work on our program. And we're happy that programs like Let's Swim Bahamas that goes into the public schools to offer swimming classes for free to public school students, and we intend to go into more schools to offer programs because our goal is to ensure every Bahamian can save their life.
It's interesting that we are surrounded by waters, and you gave the statistics that a lot of Bahamians cannot swim.
Exactly, and so actually it's interesting also because just to shift gears, I know several universities in the States, you cannot graduate unless you can swim 50 meters. And my son is one of those. He went to Cornell and he could not graduate. He had to demonstrate proficiency in swimming 50 meters. No matter how you swam, whatever stroke, you had to be able to swim it. So what we probably need to do is have some sort of discipline here that high school students can learn to swim. It's a life skill and something that will last forever. So we definitely need to do a better job in that regard.
Back then, the federation was not as big as it is now with so many clubs, and many persons looked at swimming as an elitist sport.
Great question. And that's something that irritates the Federation because we are far from elitists. We have swimmers from every socio-economic bracket in our sport. We have swimmers in public schools, swimmers in private schools. And I guess the history of the sport is when it first started, it was relegated to St. Andrew's School, Queen's College, and SAC to an extent. And most of these schools were predominantly white, and we understand that. But over a period of years, the sport has transformed. The first Bahamian, for example, to make the finals of an Olympic Games was Ariana Vanderpool Wallace. And she's not an elitist person. When swimming first started, when Andy Knowles represented us along with Bruce and several others in the 1976 Olympic Games, they were white, yes, but over time you can see, I would say 90+% of the athletes in our sport are not just black athletes, but they represent a good cross-section of what the population of the Bahamas really is. A combination of whites, a combination of blacks, and it's just that why we probably have that stigma is that our parents really care. They commit to the sport, they commit to their athletes, they're out there supporting their athletes, they support the federation, and we can count on them to ensure that we are the best run federation in the Bahamas, and that's why we were not surprised to win the Federation of the Year in the recent Ministry Awards.
We're going to get to that in a few, but how are you guys affiliated with FINA? I know you're a FINA certified official as well. And what benefits do we get from that?
Well, actually, FINA is also rebranded to World Aquatics. Okay. So it's no longer FINA's World Aquatics. I actually serve on many levels. I am on the World Aquatics Bureau, which is a combination of about 30 persons in the world that represent the aquatics disciplines. So I was elected 8 years ago. I'm nearing the end of my second term on the World Aquatics Bureau, and I'm considering running for a third and final term on the World Aquatics Bureau. And I'm also a World Aquatics official in swimming, as well as a referee and an open water official. And there are several others who have these qualifications. Manta Roberts, Gina Taylor, for example, Dewey Taylor. They're also all our World Aquatics officials in swimming. But Manta, myself, and Georgette and Kedrick Aubrey are the only World Aquatics open water officials in the Federation. When I became president in 2003, there was only one World Aquatics official. So we've since changed that and opened the doors for more Bahamians to become qualified to judge aquatics events at any level, including the Olympic Games.
And you've had the privilege of doing that on a few occasions.
Yes, I've worked, Manta Roberts has done also, so we actually enjoy what we do. We're not paid, we are volunteers, and we do it because we love it, and none of us have children in the sport swimming. This is all community service.
That's going to wrap up this first segment with President Algernon Cargill. When we come back, 5-time champions and going for 6.
Dwayne is on the TV, so turn the TV on.
Join us for the most electrifying late-night show in town. The brightest and most talented Bahamians will keep you glued to your TV screens.
You better talk to your executive director. You see Rico over there giving you the evil eye right now.
Well, I say Shepherd Morn. Good to be here with you, my boy. Good to see you, man. I'm excited for you.
Pour yourself a glass of bubbly because the fun has just begun.
Being part of little community of multi-games and see different countries and how they compete and how they do things. But winning the 50 fly and coming second in the 100 back, it just made it all better.
It's like one of the biggest meets for us youth people under 18. Then we go with the big boys.
The Commonwealth Youth Games, I think it's pretty exciting. It's probably one of the biggest competitions I've been to. And it's really cool that it's on an age group level. Back in New Zealand, I'm one of the more top backstrokers, but you know, there's always like 20-year-olds always just benevolently beat you. I think that's what really makes it cool, the Commonwealth Youth Games.
Welcome back to the Time of Charles Fisher, along with the President of the Bahamas Aquatics Federation, Algernon Cargill. Come 2024, the Bahamas will host the Carifta Swim Championships, going for number 6. Cargill, this feat, every time the faces have changed, the athletes have changed, but the numbers, you're going for 6. How have we been able to sustain for quite so long?
6 is going to be difficult, although we're competing at home, because we're competing in the 50-meter pool, and as you know, the pool is currently under repairs. So our athletes are a bit at a disadvantage now. But nonetheless, we are committed. We're competing at home. We are the 5-time champion. We know what it takes to win. Our wins have been very decisive. They haven't been squeaky wins. And competing at home should give us a home pool advantage. We've been able to win for 5 consecutive years because of the commitment of our coaches to the sport, and of course the commitment of our parents. We have a great group of coaches. At the last Carifta Games in I believe it was Aruba, the coach was Cameron Bruni, who was the head coach of the Barracuda Swim Club, and he was assisted by Trevano McPhee as well as several other swimmers. Trevano has been the head coach for several consecutive years for the Carifta team. And we have a great group of coaches, but I think more so it's the parents that support these young athletes. Any athlete that makes a Carifta team, their discipline is remarkable. They come to practice at 5 o'clock in the morning and practice until 7. Then they go to school and come back to practice from about 4 to 6 or 4 to 7. So these athletes really commit to the sport. And swimming requires that type of commitment. And apart from being great athletes, they're also great students, because we recognize over 150 swimmers in our federation for having GPAs in their schools of 3.5 and above. So swimming really teaches them a discipline to stick to the schedule of training, that is training before school, training after school, and then homework somewhere in the middle and studying. You have to have a good organizational skills, and these athletes demonstrate that. And we're happy to be able to defend our Carifta title at home. I acknowledge the commitment of our minister, who's been doing whatever he can to ensure that the team is well represented. And he's put the commitment of his ministry behind the preparation of a team. And we're going to do all we can, regardless of the fact that we don't have the pool.
Yeah, speaking on that, the pool is under renovations. You need that to put in those extra seats and get the stadium ready. But the kids having to train in a 25-meter pool here and there, how does that affect them? And then meets as well.
The training, they're a bit of a disadvantage of the training, but more so for competition. They have to be race ready. And unfortunately, there's no avenue to have competition because the pool is inoperable. We understand it's going to be ready late January, early February, and the Carifta is at the end of March. So there's not going to be a lot of competition. So they're going to be swimming in Carifta without having really competed in competition in a 50-meter pool before. Some are going away, some are recognizing that, yes, and they're getting some sponsors and going away, but the majority of athletes can't afford it because we're not elitists. They have to be able to swim here and use whatever we have here. And unfortunately, it is what it is, but we'll make the most of it. And our athletes are disciplined, and we're sure that they'll do a great job in representing the Bahamas here at home and making us all proud as a 6-time defending champion.
Well, let's now turn it over to Amajal Knowles, who spoke to one of those clubs that's responsible for us continuing with this domination.
Thanks for sure. Well, today's episode of Time Out is focusing on the swimming community, and what better club to speak to today than the reigning 5-time national champions, Mako Aquatics. Joining me now, head coach Toronto McPhee here at practice. Coach, just tell me a bit about how you guys have managed to be so dominant for so long.
Mako Aquatics started in 2017. We're the 5 times national championships, and it's been going well. You know, the kids are very motivated, year round. Morning practices, the attendance has been outstanding, and there's no secret for success, hard work, and it pays off. Mako is not only here in Nassau, but also in Freeport at the YMCA. So we have coaches over there, swimmers over there who are training, and vice versa. So the relationship in the swimming community is very strong with Mako parents. The Federation is doing an outstanding job with swimming on the whole. So swimming is just taking off, and Mako was very proud to be in the lead at this moment.
Obviously next year, a very pivotal year for us here in the Bahamas, especially when it comes to swimming. We're hosting Carifta Swimming. Just tell me a bit about how you're preparing your swimmers to, defend their title at home.
Unfortunately, we don't have the long course pool. We're waiting to get that up and running again. So right now we're training short course. So just adjusting the workouts just for them to stimulate the long course training, because obviously Carifta is a long course meet. So right now we're training short course throughout the year. Like I say, we're home, so we're really looking for that local support. The parents have been outstanding, not just Mako parents, but Bahamian parents. When we travel, we're the loudest supporters. The kids really feed off of that. So I encourage everyone to come out in April, support our swimmers, and we look to bring home the championship again.
Well, Bahamas, you heard it here first. Next year, Carifta Swimming, we need you out there with your cowbells and all the jungle music to rally home Team Bahamas. Fisher, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Amajal. But let's talk about the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture Awards just held. You guys cleaned up, made a big splash, cleaned up everything as the top federation, the top team, the top everything.
Yeah, it was a surprise. It wasn't a surprise to win the Federation of the Year, as a matter of fact, because of the work we put in, the corporate governance structure, the parent support, the coaches support, and the results of the Federation. And I think the ministry can really depend on us to be their partner in whatever activity the ministry organizes. So Toronto McPhee won Coach of the Year. That was also not a surprise. He is the coach of the 5-time national champions in the Federation of Mako Aquatics Club. He's won nationals for 5 consecutive years. He's also been the head coach of the Carifta team for probably 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. He's been a coach of the Commonwealth Games team, the World's team, etc. So he has a very strong resume to support this award, and the results actually evidence that also. And he is really a scholar of the sport. So we're happy for what he does, happy for his recognition. And also Lamar Taylor, he won the Collegiate Athlete of the Year, as well as the BOC Athlete of the Year award. And he won our first Pan Am medal in the recently concluded Chilean Pan Am Games. So he's, as we know, Lamar won 2 NCAA titles in the same championship. So he has really shown his commitment to the sport, and we definitely will see him in the World Championships that will be held in Doha in February of next year. And he's certainly vying to be on that Olympic team also. He's going to be challenged because Marvin Johnson, Nigel Forbes, they're on his heels. He's going to be challenged, so we'll see whoever is there representing us for the males.
Once again, congratulations on cleaning up at the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture Awards. When we come back, we'll go back to Carifta and the planning that's going into it.
Everyone, I'm Joan Davis-Joel, and I am excited. You know why I'm excited? Because Grand Bahama is about to bounce back.
I am excited and committed to see Grand Bahama bounce back.
I've started from ground zero. I've weathered many storms. Grand Bahama will bounce back.
Hi, I'm Osmond Johnson, an attorney here in Grand Bahama, and I believe in Grand Bahama's overwhelming potential to bounce back.
Hey, I'm Darren Cooper. I could feel it, I could see it, and I'm excited about Grand Bahama's bounce back.
Hi, I'm
I'm Olivia Colley, and I am thrilled to be a part of Grand Bahama's future.
I can see it. I can feel it. Grand Bahama, the bounce back. Hello everyone, I'm Joan Davis-Roll, the host of a brand new and exciting show here on ZNS, The Bounce Back.
Last year, when we lost, wasn't a tournament, but we ended up losing the game. You know, I was just, the Junkanoo music started playing and I couldn't even dance, you know. And that's why I made it a point to go dance once I heard the Junkanoo music today, because I love Junkanoo music.
That was Yolette McPhee McCowan, a Bahamian Division I women's basketball coach that has taken over the collegiate landscape. Coach Yo, as she's affectionately called, reflecting on her most previous trip to the Bahamas, in which her Ole Miss Lady Rebels were unsuccessful in completing their journey. This year, not so much. Coach Yo making history yet again, becoming the first Bahamian head coach to win the prestigious Battle for Atlantis Championship trophy, as her Ole Miss Lady Rebels would defeat the Michigan Wolverines 60-49.
This meant a lot. Shout out to the schools that were able to come out and support. It felt like a home game. You know, they got into it, and I'm sure they helped us. And I don't know that they put anything over the basket, but I know our fans helped. The Bahamian people helped Willa still win today.
For the Grand Bahama native, the significance of winning on home soil was certainly not lost on her or her players.
Oh, it means a lot. And when I saw the conch shell, I almost broke down and cried. The conch shell on the trophy was elite. You know, usually I let the trophies stay at work, but this one I may try to sneak at the house at least for a week.
Coach Yo hoping her success could serve as a beacon of light for others that may want to follow her path.
I say this all the time, you can't be what you can't see. And so representation matters, no matter what. Black, white, woman, male. Representation matters. Nationality. So for me to come home and be able to do this, and hopefully provides inspiration to the youth. You know, I did it old school. I graduated from the high school in the Bahamas, Catholic high. Like I'm like born and raised in the 242, right? And so like for me to be able to go out and live the American dream, play college basketball, have an opportunity to do what I'm doing, and I hope that it provides inspiration.
The Lady Rebels are back in the States, hoping to improve on a historic season in which they made the Sweet 16 for the first time in 16 years. For Time Out, I'm Amajal Knowles.
As we prepare to wrap things up here on the timer, making a big splash with Bahamas Aquatics Federation President Algernon Cargill. The Grifter is next year. You guys knew about it from earlier this year. How are things looking and what's going into planning to make this a big splash?
The ministry has organized a local organizing committee that Harrison Thompson heads. I'm the deputy chair of that committee. And then we have a CEO, Jarrell Mullings, as well as the managing director, Romel Knowles. So Romel has a lot of experience. We also have a lot of experience in planning. So we are excited about the planning process. We meet once a week as a group, and then the subcommittees will be meeting more often. But we hope to put on the best Carifta Aquatics Championships ever here at the Betty Kelly Kenny Aquatic Center. We realize that it's a lot of work. We committed to the work, but we're going to have about 500 athletes coming here. And we're excited that we'll be able to showcase not just the pool, but the Bahamas. And we're happy that most of our senior athletes will be back. Mm-hmm. So Marvin Johnson, for example, will be back. Renessa Gibbs should be back. And these are the athletes that have dominated in the male and the female side. And they will set the pace for this Carifta team. And the only disadvantage we have is being competition ready, because we don't have the 50-meter pool. But our coaches are going to be challenged to overcome that, because we will be having competition in the 25-meter pools as we are now, and getting ready for the Carifta Championships here at home.
Success at the junior level. It doesn't normally transcend over to the senior level. We're seeing it now and again. How do we get to improve our senior level?
We actually need more funding for our athletes to be successful. Most of the athletes you see winning medals at the World Championship or Olympic Games, this is all they do. That's their life, and they are supported by their governments, they're supported by the businesses in their countries, etc. But for some reason, and mostly because of the false stigma we have of being elitist, swimming does not attract the same type of government as well as corporate Bahama support. But I must say that this year, the government has really stepped up, and we've been a great partner in getting the funding we need for the sport, but we also need to find ways to support more of the athletes in their endeavors. Lamar Taylor, for example, he won a Pan Am bronze medal. He was leading the race for most of the race, but we believe that he was not, if he was not in school, for example, taking a weekend off to come and compete, and been training full-time and getting ready, he would have probably won the gold medal, because he would have been a little more conditioned and ready to win that medal, that gold medal for the Bahamas in the Pan American Games. We haven't won a medal since Ariana's 2009 medal in the World Short Course Championship, where she won a bronze medal in the 50-meter freestyle. But nonetheless, we're prepared. Joanna Evans will be back very soon. Her suspension will be ended, and I want to say publicly, the Federation supports Joanna. We certainly do not agree that she, or think that she did anything wrong. The circumstances are what they are, but she is committed to the sport, and she's competed clean all of her life, and we're happy that she will be back in order to be able to represent the Bahamas again at a high level.
On that note, what's ahead for the Bahamas Aquatics Federation?
Well, apart from Carifta, that's our main focus. We have next year the Doha World Championships in February. It's being held in February instead of July because of the Olympic Games. And those are our primary focus right now. And of course, continuing development of water polo. That's sidelined right now because they don't have a pool to be able to practice in.
I'm going to leave you with this final question. Swimming does not get the respect it should get. And it has been doing so well over the last few years. And you've voiced concern, and many people in swimming has voiced concern that other sports that...
For example, we're not represented on the Bahamas Olympic Committee. For example, that's one example. We are a sport, like track and field, that has been to every Olympic Games since at least 1976, I could remember. But we don't have a seat at the table at the Olympic Committee. We don't get the support from corporate Bahamas in terms of sponsorship, but we are a 5-time Carifta champion, and we have done well at the senior level, not as well as track and field as an example, but for some reason we've carried this false stigma of being an elite sport, and we don't need money, that we have money. Of course we need money. It takes money to travel. Every Carifta team is in the 6 figures to be able to travel anywhere, and that's funded by parents as well as funded by some levels corporate Bahamas as well as the Federation through our meets and other events we hold. But we feel that the respect we get certainly is not at the level it should be, but nonetheless, we plan to change that.
And things will definitely change come next year when the Bahamas, I'm saying it, wins their 6th straight Carifta Swim Championship. Thank you so much, Algernon Cargill, for joining us here on the Timeout. Hopefully you'll be a guest sometime soon, right before the Carifta Games or right after when we win. Thanks a lot, everybody, for those working behind the scenes. Timeout.